नमस्कार। मैं मैथिली शरण गुप्त, नेशनल प्रेसिडेंट क्राइम फ्री भारत मिशन। मैं मिस्टर सत्यम दवे जी का स्वागत करता हूं। सत्यम
थैंक यू
दवे
सर।
जी, नमस्कार। सत्यम द्विवेदी जी जो है needs no introduction. He is basically business development manager of the Asia and Africa of a
Correct.
Canadian firm who is dealing with geospatial technology, who is
Hmm.
dealing with the mapping. He is dealing with a number of things. So I think probably Ashish is still yet to join. I take this opportunity after introduction. We may like to take it forward. Mr. Dave, you are most welcome on the forum of Crime Free Bharat. And
Thank you.
I will request you to kindly introduce yourself in your words so that
Okay.
people will know your work, people will know your profile in a better way.
Okay. So, as sir has introduced, I am Satyam. I did my master's in geoinformatics around 10 years back. And from since last 10 years, I'm associated with the geospatial industry. I have experience of implementing ESRI solutions, open source solutions across various domains like policing, utilities, urban, port infrastructure. And from last couple of years, I'm working with the company called EOS Positioning System. Here we are manufacturing of the high accuracy GNSS devices, and it has various the smartphone based application. And so I have total 10 years plus of experience, and we did many of the projects, especially into the policing also, like how the geospatial technology can be useful for police, how it can be used for in terms of the CCTV mapping, CCTV integration, stampede mapping, those kind of solutions. And thank you so much, Gupta ji, for inviting me for this platform. And I hope that I can contribute, say, whatever little knowledge I have for your great mission for Crime Free Bharat. Thank you so much. It's honor for us.
मैं क्राइम फ्री भारत मिशन के मेंबर्स को और तमाम व्यूअर्स को एक बार फिर से बताना चाहूंगा कि मिस्टर सत्यम दवे हैज फॉर्मली ज्वाइंड क्राइम फ्री भारत मिशन. Geo information technology is going to play a very foundational role in crime free भारत. तो इसके पहले कि मैं क्राइम फ्री भारत के बारे में कुछ आपको बताऊं, मैं मिस्टर सत्यम से रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि उन्होंने क्राइम फ्री भारत के बारे में क्या समझा है, क्या जाना है, और उन्होंने क्राइम फ्री भारत में ऐसा क्या पाया जिससे उनको लगा कि नहीं, एक प्लेटफॉर्म हो सकता है जिसके माध्यम से हम अपने देश को क्राइम फ्री कर सकते हैं एंड वी कैन रियली चेंज द फेस एंड फेट ऑफ आवर कंट्री.
तो जैसे सर मेरा आपके साथ अभी जो इंटरेक्शन हुआ था उसके ऊपर से व्हाट आई अंडरस्टैंड इज दैट द क्राइम फ्री भारत इज अ ग्रेट इनिशिएटिव द पीपल फ्रॉम द पीपल लाइक यू कि जिन्होंने सिस्टम में पहले से काम किया हुआ है एंड दे अंडरस्टैंड द लिमिटेशन ऑफ द सिस्टम आल्सो एंड आफ्टर दैट बिकॉज ऑफ दैट दिस इज मोर लाइक अ सिटीजन सेंसिटाइजेशन एक्टिविटीज कि इसके ऊपर से एज अ सिटीजन वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि ओके व्हाट एवर आवर राइट्स आर for making a crime free and how we can help each other in terms of the so our questions can be heard and कैसे आप इसको आगे ले पाओ. तो crime free Bharat is a great opportunity and as you people are associated with that and you have worked within a system from last 30-40 years, so you exactly knows that how to improve it and under your guidance, under your umbrella, we can contribute with the whatever knowledge we have in our particular domain and we can help you out to succeed this our joint mission. Now it is not telling it's only your mission, it is all our joint mission.
Very true. It is a people's mission and it is a mission whereby the law has given the authority to each citizen as a police officer, including right to arrest. It is a little unfortunate that this right has not been so effectively communicated to the people. Okay. All of us are police officers. We are having the legal duty and responsibility to inform about commission of crime, and not only about the commission of cognizable offense, but rather in certain cases the intention to commit crime is also need to be reported, and this reporting of the crime is a lawful duty, and for violation or for not obeying the legal command of under the section 39 of CRPC,
Okay.
normal citizen would be prosecuted. Normal citizen
Okay.
will be prosecuted, and it says the burden of proving innocence lies on that citizen. So that kind of the revolutionary section is 39 is there, and
Acha.
I feel it is not question of the victim can report. It is the responsibility of each and every citizen to report. Now, it is cannot be the pleasure of the police under section 154(1) not to report or not to register crime if the report is disclosing cognizable offense. Though it required no elaboration, but Supreme Court in Lalita Kumari versus State of UP has given sequel decision in which it has been very vociferously made out that if content of your report it is disclosing cognizable offense, then police is having no other option but to register it.
Acha.
I feel when every citizen is having this responsibility to report, just to reduce the pressure of reporting, deliberately probably this section has not been properly used for education of the citizen. There are the two sections, section 39 and 43. Section 43 says right of the private person to effect arrest, and this right to effect arrest is also available when police officer is present over there. The only difference when police officer is there, after effecting arrest, the culprit need to be handed over to the police, and it is not only for if the cognizable offense is being committed in front of your eyes, rather it is applicable for all proclaimed offenders. So offenders, those who are not really coming into the grip of the police, there should be a automated system to declare them proclaimed offender, and then each citizen will have the right to arrest.
Okay.
That kind of the powerful system is available. Now a time has come that technology should make or enable each citizen to do or do the policing or become police officer as expected by the law. So if law says that everyone is a police officer, where is the wherewithal? How to report? Who will listen? And it is very unfortunate. I always keep on repeating this point that Government of India has launched one website, a web portal, cybercrime.gov.in. And in the month of September, when it completed 1 year, then a review had come, which says that more than 2 lakh cases were reported through the portal, and only less than 2.5% got converted into FIR. So it is a question that 97.5% of the offences, they are not converted into FIR. Here we should not forget that all attempt, even sending one OTP with the intention to commit fraud, with the intention to commit to cheat you, it is an offence under section 511 IPC, and read with other sections also, right? So if we go by these attempt, then offences will be in almost 2 crore, not 2 lakhs. It will be at least 100 times. So if these 200 crore cases are taken cognizance, and our system is allowing them to capture evidences at the time of the reporting itself. So then it is just a formality to convert into FIR and to put up a challan. In present case, people are shamelessly committing cyber crime, they are committing other crime, and there is no fear of law. Just by modifying our processes, we can create a rule compliant society. So I will stop for a while over here. Mr. Ashish Saha, who is a very important member, and he is a office bearer of Crime Free Bharat, and he is looking after the technology field. And he is personally providing internship, he is providing technological knowledge, and especially in the field of geospatial area and geofencing area. And geofencing and geospatial technology is going to play a very, very important role in Crime Free Bharat. So let's take this opportunity to introduce Mr. Ashish Saha. He is a Chief Innovation Officer of a firm that his name is Avio Private Limited, EVIO, Avio Private Limited. And I will request him to, he may kindly introduce himself for the larger benefit of audience.
Sir, you are mute.
Thank you so much, sir, for the kind introduction. And I'm really sorry for the delay in joining the meeting. I shall explain later privately for the reason. Right. So, very interesting subject today. When we have yourself and Satyam, connected, right, and discussing geography. I will give one example today, sir. The complete, what you may call as asset management, in terms of, how we have brokers who sell land and property in our cities, okay, is all about geography. How is it decided, right? What is the value of a particular property? So geographical systems today are enabling specialists from the subject, right, by providing them data in terms of footfalls in a particular area, in terms of what type of facilities are there in a particular area, right, whether there's a police station there or not, what is the crime rate in that particular area, right. All these factors, right, are being taken into consideration holistically, and then you arrive at a sort of a square foot rate, right, for a particular real estate in a specific suburb of a city. Okay. Now, when I give this example, I define that we are able to bring in the crime rate data. So local police stations, right, which have which have a lot of data on all the local crime, right? That data is becoming more and more important. It is not just about reporting it once every 3 years in a countrywide document which says in this state so many crimes of particular nature have occurred. It's now being utilized for so much more. In fact, in terms of, if I were to buy property today without understanding the crime rate in that particular area, I would not even bother to buy that property. Because if I have children, right, I need to know that they are safe. My family has to be safe. Without that, there is no purpose. Similarly, a few years back, while I was in Ahmedabad, Satyam's college, that is SEPT, his professor had hosted one lecture. And they, I think Satyam and his colleagues at that time must have been her students. They had done one study on crime versus location of police station. So at the end of the whole study, everyone was scratching their heads. What came first? Did crime come first or did the police station come first? Because when the study was completed, in terms of collecting all the crime data, they found that majority of the crime, right, was within a specific radius of the police station. Now, obviously, the police station came first because it is based upon population and defining that there is a need for police. So you already go ahead and create an infrastructure. But it is a very strange information, and I think Satyam can actually help by requesting his professor to share that presentation with you, because it will give you a totally different understanding of geography. We had some of the.
I will elaborate on that. Just a minute, Mr. Saha. I will elaborate on that point. Basically, when we try to locate any police station, we try to put in a place where either the crime is being committed or where the criminals are being located, so that the police can provide the better service. If it is closer to where the crime is being committed, it means it can reach faster and it can give a better response, number one. Right. And if it is closer to the criminals, then it can keep a better watch on them, and probably it can control crime in a better way. So there is absolutely no contradiction, but I can really sense the hidden statement which you are trying to make.
No, sir. In fact,
relationship between the.
Sir, this is exactly what we asked the professor.
Maybe is there? Just a minute. There may be a hidden message. Is there any statistical correlation between the police and the criminals? And basically, few of the police walas, they are certainly having some relationship, and that relationship is certainly not for the benefit of the system at large. Earlier, it was for cracking criminals, and that now even that is used for pure personal benefit. So here the technology has to play that role, that personal interest, personal incentive has to be taken away from the system, and the system should work for the benefit of the citizen at large. And citizens should become the contributor. When each and every citizen is a police officer, then I think there should be no problem, and we should not talk of the police-public ratio. The only thing we need to tell that or make people convinced they are the police officer, number one. More willing and more active person maybe formerly can be associated as a volunteer, and they can be declared as a special police officer. That clause is already available. And if we can provide them the revenue stream, then it will become a more symbiotic relationship. I think Crime Free Bharat is providing the framework for doing it. Right?
Correct.
So I will take it back to the Mr. Satyam. I think okay. Sorry, I picked up or I intervened in between to elaborate, but you were trying to make a point. So please continue, Mr. Sai. Please continue. So, please complete the point.
We had in that particular session, we had Dr. V.R. Sampath, who was retired DG from Tamil Nadu state, and it was he who had pointed out, that why is this graph and this map showing such kind of correlationship? And of course, the way you interpreted it, that there was some hidden message, but there was no hidden intention. We were all trying to understand. And what we realized was, right, that it is very typical that as a city grows, crime grows. Simple. And the police station was just coincidental actually in that area. It was already created. Earlier, the crime rate was low because the population was low. As population increases, markets come up. Obviously theft increases and therefore crime rate increases. But this correlation becomes very obvious when it is put across on a map. When you connect the geography along with the crime rate, things become much more easy to understand, and you are able to focus on the problem. So when, for example, we are talking about crime in railways, and we are talking about how to manage that. So we are talking about railway corridor. We are talking about all the police stations connected to the railways, and how they can basically interact, right, with a citizen who is within that corridor and who needs support, against any crime or criminal, that is. So for this, when we talk about things like geofencing, so something which I in the next session with Satyam is going to, I believe he is preparing some presentation where he will exactly explain how a geofence works and what are the various supporting stakeholders in terms of hardware as well as users which are required to make it work. So I will not elaborate that today, but geography matters. That is what we are trying to say here. And it because there is a limited number of policemen on the ground. When we expand in terms of saying that citizens will become citizens police who will support the cause, even they also need to know where they are and they need to know where to approach. So this can only happen technologically. I may know where I am, but I may not know where my nearest police station is. And if I have the appropriate mapping technology, I know how far I am and how far I can reach there, right? If on the same facility, I also have a method of reaching out to a station officer, right, and elaborating my problem even before I reach there, maybe I get better support. Now, to create all this, first of all, is the communications gap. That gap can be reduced by having geography as one of the key components. That is what I was trying to say, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Saha. You have very elaborately really explained it. And basically, if we can say, there are, say, 4 elements in all. One element is the criminal themselves and their associate. Then we can say that cluster where they are residing. And as you know, generally criminals, they are residing in a form of a cluster, and there's a visible concentration of the criminals. Then there's something called where the crime is committed, and when we read all the crimes committed together, it is called hotspot or crime distribution map. Now, a criminal from criminal cluster to hotspot, he has to make a journey. So there are routes for negotiating that. Now, his activity could be captured on a regular basis, 24/7, by creating a technological Chitragupta, who would be capturing and putting into the database all activities, what he is wearing, what is his specs, who are the associate, his body language, his mannerism. And when he is going to commit crime, it could be read from timing, it can be read from body language, it can be read from associates, and it can be read from transports or vehicle which he is taking. And all put together can be very precisely read that now this group of the people are likely to commit some crime. And probably the proactive technology can forewarn and could activate with the details. Okay, hey, look for this person, he is going to come in your area. This is the vehicle in which he is there. With this speed, he is likely to, he is traveling, and probably he is likely to hit your location. If he goes by a particular route, then he is likely or expected to hit your or cross by your location at this time. And then each node can confirm, yes, he has moved from this area, and then we can decide how to intervene. So if we put criminals, criminal cluster, reading them together, then route, and then hotspot, and then in between putting CCTVs and putting IoT devices, and whereby making use of the geo-information technology, because ultimately those criminal cluster, they will be converted by reading address and then converting that into the geolocation. So everywhere the geoinformatics would be used in a very, very big way, right? Now we can decide that where to intervene, and through a smart intervention process, we can hit a person, or we can strike, or through the proactive technology, we would be in position to nab the person before he could commit crime. So that's the way we are saying. And if by any reason we could not really detect or could not prevent crime, then certainly we will be having all evidences to establish a full chain when criminal moved from his place, who all are associated, in which vehicle they were traveling, and if they have changed their dress, or if they have changed their vehicle and route, even that will be captured. And if we want, we can run like an animated film before the court. That is the feasibility, that is the possibilities which the Crime Free Bharat is working on. And Crime Free Bharat, that's how it is providing five certainty, that is certainty of cognizance, certainty of detection, certainty of conviction, and certainty of prevention, and then finally certainty of rehabilitation, along with the 5 revenue stream. And geoinformation technology is going to play a lead role, as Mr. Sai has very vividly mentioned, though very briefly also, that in detecting railway crime, we have created 5 apps and we are refining those. Those apps put together would be creating such a powerful system that committing crime in the railway domain would not be possible, and probably we will be detecting all crimes. So a crime which is committed where exact place of occurrence is just not known, and crime cognizance is taken on the where you woke up and learned about the crime. Even that kind of difficult crime would be detected with certainty, and conviction would be possible with certainty, and finally we would be in position to prevent crime, because the moment such criminals will be moving, they can be captured. They will be captured by the CCTV, IoT device, by the human eyes, and since a lot of revenue would be flowing, hence that information flow will be so automatic, so seamless, that it would be beyond the control of anybody that to defeat the system. That kind of the powerful system would be there. Now, Mr. Satyam, he worked with the police. So for the benefit of audience, what exactly you worked, and to what extent basically the benefit were drawn? Here, basically, it will depend on the vision statement. यदि हम थोड़ा सोचेंगे तो थोड़ा फायदा ले पाएंगे, यदि हम बड़ा सोचेंगे तो बड़ा फायदा ले पाएंगे. तो टेक्नोलॉजी तो वही है, कोई सोच के उससे बड़ा फायदा लेने की यदि बात कर पा रहा है, जैसे क्राइम फ्री भारत मिशन कर रहा है, then it is going to change whole system, whole thing will be changed. So we would like to listen Mr. Satyam Dave about his experiences, and then we will take it to Mr. Sai. He will be briefing that what he is doing in Crime Free Bharat Mission, because he is already associated, he is working with the student also, and lot many solutions they have been developed. And since we are working with the raw material, so a lot of energy is being invested in really sharpening our tools. And once this sharpening will be over, then probably those tools and those apps would be a matter of, I think, 15-20 days. I think let's target within a month we will be bringing all 5 apps on the ground. And it is already a national police mission under BP R&D, and I am the project leader for that. So it will be implemented making use of that window. So, Mr. Satyam.
So first I want to basically start with very basic thing, that what actually all this fuss about geospatial technology or GIS is all about. Okay. So as you all know, GIS is Geographical Information System. It is a mixture of geography and an information system. So you will be amazed to know that the GIS technology is one of the oldest technology available for a humankind. Okay, before the invention of fire, cavemen are using maps in terms of they are drawing a maps on their cave's wall while identifying that, okay, where is my food is, where is my hunting area is, and where is my water is. This is how they are basically creating those maps. As the human race has progressed, those maps are changed from caves to the plate to the paper maps to digital maps, and now from digital maps to dynamic maps. Okay, this is how the GIS industry has grown up. Now, in terms of what we have done in police is that we are very fortunate to do a couple of projects with Gujarat Police. One of the projects which is very near to my heart is in Ahmedabad, there is always a Rath Yatra procession is going on from last 150 years. And into the old Ahmedabad, what happens that the Lord Jagannath, from Lord Jagannath temple, the all 3 statues of Lord Jagannath, Balramji and Subhadraji roams into the entire city, and somewhere around 1.5 to 2 million people are there into the old Ahmedabad city. And for policing, it is always a headache in terms of taking care of the public security, stampede mapping, safety, all those things. For that, from last in last 2 years, what we have done is we have basically created one platform, and this platform we have integrated to the DGP office as well as the Home Ministry office as well as the CM office. What it does is it was basically a map of old Ahmedabad where we have mapped entire the Jagannath Rath Yatra route, as well as we have basically put the entire police bandobast schema, like where the policemen are standing, where the snipers are standing, where their security people are standing, where is their watchtowers are, like all those layers. Plus, we have also integrated the CCTV cameras with that, which is available with the L&T CCTV cameras as well as the Smart City Ahmedabad CCTV cameras. And we have integrated the and what they have done is that before every run there is a police one is going. Okay, so every police one has a GPS track. So we have integrated GPS track with CCTV cameras on the dynamic map. So wherever that Rath is going, and the system intelligently tells that okay, now you can basically watch Rath from this CCTV camera, and they don't have to find out that okay, what is the nearest CCTV camera into the entire list. Plus, we have also created a geographical model that in case if at all any stampede happens, if you can imagine that 1.52 million people are there into the small area, like Ashish sir has seen the Ahmedabad small area and he has probably lived there also in his childhood, I believe. So into that congested small narrow street, driving a people to a safety, it is a very important thing if at all the stampede happen. So what we have modeled is that okay, if into a particular area something stampede happens, okay, then what are the routes they can follow, okay, which are the nearer hospitals, which are the nearer schools, if something happens and if the people got for example if the people got heated, then how they can basically put into those shelters. So entire stampede mapping model was generated, and it was basically giving on a volunteer basis for using Gujarat police, and they have used efficiently for next 2 years. Like the CM office also used, the DGP office has also used, the Home Ministry office has also used, and it was the very good introduction of the GIS into the Gujarat police. But what most important thing which I have seen, like very basic application which we have not developed, but the Gujarat police itself has developed. Okay, they have created an app that is called Known Your Police Station. Today the biggest problem is that, for example, if something crime is happen in my area, which police station I need to go? Near my house, Elizabeth police station is the nearest one, but my area comes into the Paldi police station. So what I urge you, sir, like having the into this crime free Bharat platform with your help of volunteer, you should go with those kind of mapping of entire police station across India and come up with those kind of platforms. Start with the basics that people actually know that where to go and report it.
Here is the problem or dichotomy with what we are visualizing and what you are trying to achieve. You are saying that you know Thana. Why I should know Thana? Why I need to go Thana? My content should reach almost on the real-time basis. And the response should flow not only from the police, but from the public, who is also equivalent to the police. Because public will be available everywhere. So it means police is already available. When you and me are having the right to arrest a person, so we are the police. Why you want
at the end of
in uniform to do that job?
But at the end of the day,
why you want to go to Thana?
But at the end of the day, after even arresting,
I think 2 years back. Just a minute. Here is the problem of vision. यदि हम छोटा सोचेंगे तो छोटा कर पाएंगे. आपको अभी जानकारी नहीं है, मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा. 3 साल पहले जो डीजी आईजी कॉन्फ्रेंस होती है, उसमें ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर से एक ऐप जो है इनॉग्रेट कराया गया था. उसका काम यही था टू नो आपके लोकेशन से वो बता देगा कि आप कौन सा थाना लग रहा है. दिस ऐप इज ऑलरेडी फंक्शनल एंड इट इज देयर. एंड जब ये ऐप लॉन्च किया गया तो मैंने बहुत क्रिटिसाइज किया. मैंने कहा कि ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर से ये छोटी सी चीज हमको उद्घाटन कराना चाहिए क्या? हमें बड़ा सोच के बड़ा कराना चाहिए. हम जो है, आज आप ये बॉदर करते हो कि आपका खाता किस बैंक में चल रहा है. यू आर नॉट बॉदर्ड. आप जो है से फ्रॉम योर ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म you are in position to जो है do whatever you want to do. ATMs are just on your doorstep. You can make use of in depositing cash. You can withdraw the cash. So the location of your bank has become immaterial. In the same way, why the location of the police would be material for you? And then I will go one step further, that police can be deployed just as we have done in Madhya Pradesh, and some few other states also has followed the model, where that there are that response vehicle, and response vehicle, they are deployed over the area so that they can reach out to the public. But here there is a problem, because police officer, for them crime is a burden. As a police officer, as a senior police officer, when I used to report to my senior officer, so I used to say, sir, wo dakati ho gayi hai, as if I have committed that dakati. So I am saying, whenever any crime is taking place, the police officer is having a kind of hesitation ki something grave wrong thing has happened. It is the duty of the police officer to respond and catch the criminal with the certainty, then the system is effective. Because taking crime or happening a crime should be a good news to visualize it as an opportunity to catch criminal, to fix criminal, to get him convicted, and then another advantage would be coming, that he will be coming in our radar. So in future, we will not allow that person to commit crime, and finally we will rehabilitate him. That's how we can really bring that crime-free Bharat. But if you visualize these small things, then you will be designing very small solution. So my prayer to you would be that you should read the vision document very consistently. And we are saying we will be operating in cyberspace. Do you know what is my slogan? My slogan, we will guarantee right to privacy to each citizen. At the same time, we will be creating a Chitragupt of the technology. So technology से और हमारे system से और National Authority for Scientific and Technical Assistance in Investigation and Detection से कोई भी चीज छिपी नहीं होगी. It knows everything about you. It knows everything about everybody. And it is capable of responding, it is capable of preventing, and finally it will be capable of even rehabilitating the criminal. So at present, as I had explained in the beginning, that more than 2 lakhs crime they were reported, and only 2.5% were registered. And if we take into the say attempts, then probably more than 2 crore or maybe 10 crore crime might have been committed. Because you, me, and everybody is getting few messages very frequently, which are because we are aware, so we do not fall in trap. But for the sake of those messages, whosoever have created a message, they have committed a crime, at least if nothing else, under section 511 of IPC. So how really we can take cognizance of all such attempt, how we can capture those evidences, and for that we are creating technology so that citizens themselves will be capturing all those evidences. And when they will go to report, they will not go for the report of the crime, they will go along with the evidences, along with the identity of the criminal. And if the police is failing to arrest them, then we will use our volunteers to or making use of the power of the 43 CRPC, and we will get even arrested also. So यदि पुलिस जो है यदि बहुत ही निष्क्रिय होगी तो भी हमारा system will work to help out, because we are basically committed that 90% burden of the police will be unburdened to the extent of 90%. All non-core activity will be taken away to the from the police to public, and it will go to either to technology or will go to the citizen. And for each of the activity they will be conducting, they will be getting revenue stream, and system would be creating so much of the revenue that distribution of the revenue itself is a objective. So my humble submission would be there. Now I will ask the question to the Mr. Sahay, and he is having the greater experience and I think greater understanding about the crime-free Bharat. So I would like to listen him with what you are feeling, that how the geoinformation technology is going to help, how it will be catering for our 5 certainties, how it would be catering for 5 revenue streams, and how by making use of the geoinformation technology and a spectrum of other technologies, we would be creating, or we will be transforming the face and fate of our nation. We would be creating a rule compliant society. We would be in position to change habits. We will be in position to form new behavior, and finally it will convert and it will become our habit, it will become our behavior, and it will become our culture, and it will become our character. And that's how we will be transforming the character of our nation. At present, our character is this, that people sitting on our side, they are making OTP crime, and they are trying to cheat people, senior citizens, those who are in another part of the country. So they are cheating the people inside, and they are cheating outside. Nobody is ready to listen. You go anywhere, even cyber thanas have been created, nobody is taking cognizance. Those kind of things are happening. So I am saying, you don't take cognizance. We will create system to taking cognizance. We will create system for investigation, and we will create the system for investigation by the police also. And if required, we can do little enabling, a little amendment in our law, so we can provide the explicit power of collection of evidence also. When you are having duty and law to report crime, when you are having duty to arrest a person, though we can read it, there's a duty to collect evidence also, but we can make explicit provision for that. Once that is done, then police will become a secondary to just put the challan and to complete the process, so that there at least things has to go to the court. And finally, we are saying we are coming out with the distributed court trial system. So in first point, we are saying that there will be cognizance without going to the thana, and now we have come to the master stroke, and we are saying that we will be conducting the court trial without going to the court. Here, geoinformation technology has to play very, very robust role. So I would like to really request Mr. Saha to elaborate on that point, how whatever I am saying, that is doable, and how your technology will be doing, because there will be a spectrum of the technology will be used, not only the geoinformatics technology, but somewhere at the back end, the geoinformation technology would be playing a great role. And every piece of the evidence which we are capturing, it is being captured with a date, time, and location stamp. So the location, that is the geoinformation system, right? And it will be logged with the hash value, and it will be then protected with the blockchain technology. That will be happening all around in all activity which are done under the crime-free Bharat. So, Mr. Ashish, please explain the role of geoinformatics in the realization of vision of crime-free Bharat. Your microphone is not on. Please switch on your microphone.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sir, as such, you have covered overall the need, in terms of how crime-free Bharat needs to utilize technology, and you have covered the applications as to how you need to apply it. The hurdle is in terms of, for example, you mentioned section 43 of IPC, where you say citizens police. Okay. Getting the more the number of people who onboard onto crime-free Bharat, okay, as the awareness of their capability of making an arrest increases, one. Secondly, their awareness that they are being supported by a team of retired and presently functioning police officers. The assurance to them, right, that they have a team of legal experts, right, who are also going to support them in their activity. Okay. All these things put together, right, will provide the strength to all the members of Crime-Free Bharat who join us, right, in terms of providing the support services to the police department of making citizens arrest, number one. So the larger the members, right, the more the efficiency. will come in place. What will also come in place is the larger the database. So I will explain one thing here that, when you say the word IoT, the mobile phone is the biggest IoT that is available, the most important IoT, because the mobile phone has got multiple types of sensors, from the camera to the mic, right, to the GPS location, right, to temperature sensors. There's so many things within the mobile which are called as fusion sensors. All these are fused together. What is it that fuses them together? The clock, which provides you the time, the date, right, and the GPS in terms of the location. All these three, when fused with other sensors, right, provide you with what you may call as the most critical data, right, in terms of authentication. So now let us say that we have got 130 plus billion citizens in our country, and I believe that presently the smartphone penetration in India, right, is almost 70%. So you can say that almost 1 billion people have got smartphones in their hands. Now there may be good people there may be bad people there. Let us consider all are good, okay, for a moment. So when we talk about privacy, okay, most of the applications that we talk about, today when we are talking about Facebook or others, they all ask for certain type of permissions, right, for as to how the particular mobile phone, right, can act, right, on behalf of the citizen and permit the social media to capture some data. So one of the things that we will have to do, right, is to create applications which safeguard the citizens' data in terms of who is that citizen. So if I am capturing some live, crime or any live accident on the road, and I'm transferring it to our control room, the police control room, I need to be assured that I am not brought into the picture other than being as a part of a automated punch, meaning because I was an eyewitness and my mobile phone is registered in the system, I have become a part of the punch. I have handed over my material. Now there is no need for me to do anything further. You have got my location, you know who I am, but my name is kept hidden. Okay, only if there is a grave need in the court, right, am I presented for further support. Otherwise, I am not required in the system. The system will take care of further activities. So that is one part. Now, having said that, we have the mobile phones. Utilization of the mobile phones by the citizens police, right, is a key factor in the game. If everybody uses their mobile phones with an application where they are able to capture incidents and transmit it in real time, right, to the local nearest police station as well as to the state control room, okay, just like we do in a dial 100 scenario. If I am able to connect there, and thereafter I can connect to they can connect me to the fire department, they can connect me to the nearest police station, right? Similarly, right, if I'm able to push real-time video along with audio, then I can have a two-way discussion with somebody. Most of the times we will feel that, what if so many hundreds of people call up at the same time? How will the control room manage? That's a separate part of the problem, but there are solutions for that. However, this is feasible. It is functional today. Around 3 years back, this was demonstrated to Gujarat Police. It was a functional concept, right? However, the problem remains to be there is a cost involved, because bandwidth cost, the SIM card cost. So let us say the citizen is pushing the video, but there is a server in the background. Okay, there is a audio and a video codec in the background, right? That requires bandwidth. That requires maintenance cost. There is a capital expenditure behind it. All these costs which are there, right, has to be supported. So somebody has to be ready to pay for it. So we had come up with a way saying that how can we monetize this content which all the citizens will share with the police department? After all, it is coming from the public domain. So there is no secret here. I am pushing you a video, right? That video can now be monetized. You are using it for the legal action. That is, the police department will use it for the legal action. I can actually take this video, okay, and sell it to the newscaster. How do you sell that? How do you monetize that? Now, when we came up with that whole solution, the problem was acceptability of such an application by the government. Whether the citizen can sell this video or not, should the police give them the permission to sell the video or not? Whereas it was actually simple. It is my phone. I am capturing the video, right? I am pushing it to the local police station, but I am retaining a copy and I am selling it somewhere. So can I monetize? So we created a scenario saying, no, let everybody monetize together. Okay. The police is the stakeholder. The citizen is the stakeholder. The telecom company is a stakeholder, right? The television, program which is pushing that video onto the larger audience, they're all stakeholders. So let them all benefit, right, from this one person's activity of pushing that video. Crime is managed and monetization happens. Both happen together. So this is one way of doing it. There are various other things. Sir.
Here, Ashish Saiji, here there are many issues.
Sir.
We are saying we are creating a technology Chitragupta, right? Now, there is another issue. We are saying we will be guaranteeing the right to privacy. So
Sir.
if you are capturing anything which is about others, your right, since you have captured, you cannot sell it, right? Because it is coming in conflict with my vision of guaranteeing the right to the privacy. So the
Right.
Chitragupta will know, right? And the general information which is say about some incidents of the crime, that part can only we can consider of selling to the, or can consider to passing it on to news channel, etc., to keep public informed. So
Right.
we can come out in a very, very limited way. Number one. Number two, we are having very serious objection. If you are capturing something not from our app, we will not give any credence to your video, because
Correct.
that video is liable to be manipulated by n number of technology, including the deep fake.
Absolutely.
We will put no credence to it. So what we are saying, our Crime Free Bharat app that has to be used, and that app would be encrypting the things with the
Correct.
date, time, and location on the real-time basis, right?
Right.
And
Right.
it will bring expert, it will bring everybody together. Even the police will be investigating. Police will be investigating through our investigation app, because that app would be capturing each evidence from the ground, and backend artificial intelligence will give the direction what next is to be done. So
Right.
even आपने एक पढ़ा होगा पहले जो है ना, प्रोग्रामिंग के लिए डमी फॉर फलाना करके किताबें आया करती थी, डमी सीरीज. Have you
Right.
read
Yes.
those
Yes.
series? So now we will create the dummy series for the police. Police with a low IQ would be in position to do flawless investigation, and there will be the real-time integration of the experts. When an operation can be done remotely under the guidance of expert, then investigation is a much smaller thing which could be done, much less risky thing which could be done with a flawless way. What that will only happen if we dare to dream big. Because if we will keep thinking or dreaming small, just like Mr. Satyam has said, which has already been done by Honorable Prime Minister 3 years back. But I am of the belief, then why that kind of the system? Why the person should be in position to launch it flawlessly? Why not enable the each citizen? Because it is not the victim who has to go and report the crime. It is the responsibility of each citizen. He may not be victim. So this is the duty which has been cast on by the law on every citizen. Now this app will be just enabling him to discharge his responsibility, and it will become the guardian, so that police cannot take away with it, because everything will be in digital record. It will immediately, if Thana Prabhari is not, basically it is making use of the CCTNS, and it is entering into the CCTNS, a lawful platform, where that SHO would be having an opportunity to put his signature and do something, and if he is not putting his signature and it is not getting converted into FIR, then it will be taken to the SP. and SP is already having the direct obligation under section 154.3. Even let's say that SP is also not doing that what he is supposed to do, and he has not done or he has not discharged his legal responsibility as expected from that office, then system will take it back to the complainant, will gather more facts. If it is a wrong FIR, then the complainant will be prosecuted, and if it is right FIR, then all affidavits etc. would be created, and it will be taken to magistrate having the jurisdiction under section 190 of the CRPC, and that magistrate would be allowed to do the role under section 156.3, and for that we will be already we are having the system which we will be using, that is ICJS system, that is a interoperable criminal justice system, that is already in place. We just with little modification we would be in position to make use of that platform for our purpose. And even if say for some reason if even we are not getting justice with the magistrate also, we can in very extraordinary cases we can go to the High Court under section 482 of IPC, and even if that is not happening, then we can take care of the recourse to the PIL or contempt petition to the apex court. But when the people will know that one powerful system is following, a small SHO would not dare to ignore the command of law. He will not be dare to use his indiscretion. Discretion will be used in a favorable way, in a rule compliant way. So whatever we are designing, we are not designing for helping the police, but it will be helping the police, it will reducing the burden of the police, but at the same time it will be making police more transparent, more accountable, and it will be the backend engine will be generating the investigation lead, and it is we who will be telling that police officer, hey, this you are supposed to do. We will be making requisitioning on behalf of the police officer, making use of his legal power under section 91 of CRPC. So we will be creating a legal requisition which will be duly signed by the investigating officer, and we will be thinking all those probability that poor head constable may not be in position to think of. That kind of the system we will be bringing. So I am totally in conformity, and I say that here everywhere since things are happening on the ground, and ground means it will involve the communication, it will involve movement, it will involve transaction, it will involve the exchange of goods. So everything is happening on the geolocation. So geoinformatics and geoinformation technology has to play a very, very big role. Now, while designing system, it has to be designed consistent with the crime-free Bharat vision, because otherwise हम छोटा सोच के छोटा डिजाइन कर देंगे and the public को वो certainty मिलेगी ही नहीं. So all the time we have to talk about those 5 certainty. Is it consistent with our commitment, the certainty of cognizance without visiting Thana? Is it consistent with that? Is it consistent with the unburdening of the police and de-stressing of the police? Then our police will be more composed, more cool. Though they will be doing only 10% of the job, but they will be successful in 100% cases. So they will enjoy a much higher self-esteem. There will be nobody to criticize, because the criticism will be taken away by the system, because he will say, I am doing whatever the system is telling me to do, right? So all followers, all negative things will be the burden on the technology, on the system, whereas he will get the police will get all the credit for doing good work. So that police will be not only respected, but a time will come when the police will be worshipped. You cannot refuse, but you automatically will raise whenever you see a uniformed person moving in front of you. That kind of the respect the police will be commanding. And that negative role which police at the moment is doing, that will not be doable. That will just not be doable. So that negative image will also be taken away from the police, because negative part will not be doable by them. Correct. Right? Now, whatever is expected to be done for the law and order, what is expected to be done in a different domain, that will also be done proactively. Hence, the culmination of the situation like which has happened in this Kisan rally, that will not be allowed. While the rally is there for 45 days, system will be knowing each and every person की उसका मुंह क्या है, उसकी ड्रेस क्या है, उसको बैक से उसका यदि एक छोटा सा ड्रेस भी मिल जाएगा तो उससे आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया जाएगा कि he is the person. That was doable. But सोच कहाँ है, कौन सोच रहा है ऐसा सिस्टम क्रिएट करने के लिए? तो ये बात कहना पड़ेगी. वो एक कहानी थी जिसमें कि शेक्सपियर की किसी कहानी पे था, उसने कहा था कौन सोचता है कि ऐसा होगा, और फिर उसमें एक शेक्सपियर की फोटो छपी हुई है और उसको शेक्सपियर अपनी तरफ इशारा करता है, यस मैं सोच सकता हूँ ऐसा. सो बेसिकली क्राइम फ्री भारत हैज टू कम आउट विद दैट पिक्चर कि यस हम ऐसा सोच सकते हैं, हम ऐसा सिस्टम डिजाइन कर सकते हैं, एंड दैट वी विल डू even without much of the support from the government. We will require only the legislative support from them. For the rest of the things, we will be having our very powerful revenue system, because with the click of one button, we will be creating 1,30,000 crore. That will be a big money. So when one button is capable of creating this much money for the government, and this similar money of the 1,30,000 crore will be created for the public also, then you can see that how huge impact it will be having on the economy. And then we will be creating the technology to capture other violations. So we will not limit to the traffic violation alone, then we will go for the road discipline, then we will go inter-vehicle discipline. And I am having one strategy. Crime, as we are talking of the crime-free Bharat, I am having 4 technologies to come with the accident-free Bharat. We are losing 1,60,000 people. It is a colossal best. If we can come out with that kind of the technology, it has to be done immediately, and it can be supported in a very big way by the even insurance company, because they will be directly getting the benefit. When there will be no death on the ground, when there will be no accident on the ground, then premium cost will come down, and even with the less premium cost also, that insurance company will be earning a huge profit. So they can, and a part of it can come in for supporting this accident-free vision. I will come back to Mr. Satyam. Now, in the light of my elaboration, how that crime, this geoinformation technology in a revised format, in a revised protocol, you feel will be playing a role for the crime-free Bharat. Because let me tell you, that geoinformation technology is going to be the backbone.
As you said correctly, that every crime or every criminal has always a location footprint. And for crime-free Bharat, when you are trying to, okay, probably Mr. Ashish sir has gone. Okay. So
no, I
when
have
you are
removed him because his camera is off.
okay,
So,
fine.
I'm
Okay.
here. Please carry on.
So, but the thing is that in terms of your the elaboration, what we have done for your vision of crime-free Bharat, as you are saying that the geoinformatics or location is always the part of the any criminal activities. Okay. Now, so when you are basically advising about the crime-free Bharat, for getting a crime, geoinformatics can actually give you the pattern and classification of crimes into a different geography. And this is how you can leverage the technology and understand, okay, in what geography, what kind of crimes has the more probability, and how you can go into prevent it and rectifying it. So this is where I can see that, okay, this is how the implementation of GIS can be useful into your mission of a crime-free Bharat. Otherwise, I am always a big fan of a small and sensible intervention to create something, because as my 10 years of experience for implementing GIS, okay, main thing is if the people are starting with a very big vision, they're not going anywhere else. Believe me, if it is the Amul, if it is the utility countries, nothing happens. Okay, you have to identify a certain areas, you have to act on it, and you have to implement on it. Then only you are able to reach somewhere in any of the technological implementation. Because your idea is wonderful that you are basically going to use the app for getting the videos, for getting the location, for getting the data. But on the back end, you need to have a lot many analytics engine, infrastructure engine, and other things.
Satyam,
So I'm so basically telling you, as a
when you are
technical
almost-
person, as a visionary, you are correct. But when you are saying a vision, the technical person like us always, trying to think that how we need to make it possible. And
No.
for that, all those question things comes
Mr.
into the picture.
Satyam, Mr. Satyam, Mr. Satyam.
Yes,
allow
I'm
me
listening.
to जो है ना intervene at this stage because
Yeah.
it is very, very critical. It is very, very critical. The problem with the technocrat, they visualize the problem. They should visualize the problem with the solution. So what I am saying, technocrats are not allowed to become the part of the problem. They have to become the part of the solution. Number one, you are saying in which area it should be done. I am saying whatever you are creating, an app can be even downloaded by American people, and they can make use of the technology there at the same time when it is being done in India. So don't the old thing now you have to really come out of it. The technology had made lot of progress. Now the old area के हम छोटे area में pilot करें. What pilot area? Pilot should be the technology. It is operating in cyberspace. Microsoft कुछ launch कर रहा है तो कोई नहीं कहता कि मैं छोटे area में launch करूंगा. कोई आज जो है ना जो भी आपके ढेर सारे ऐप काम कर रहे हैं वो कोई छोटे एरिया में ऑपरेट नहीं कर रहे हैं. उसको जितने लोग यूज करेंगे ये उनकी मर्जी है, लेकिन इट इज ऑपरेटिंग इन होल ग्लोब. आप जो है ढेर सारे एप्स को जो है ना ग्लोबली यूज कर सकते हो.
नहीं, you are correct, sir.
So the old way of thinking should not allow to, just a minute. The old way of thinking should not allow to hinder that bigger vision, number one, and it should not act as a vision to or act as a constraint. So technocrats should not become the part of the problem rather than part of the solution.
Correct, sir.
We should not spend our energy to convince our technocrat के भाई साहब ये इस तरीके से doable है. Rather, our technocrat should come कि sir, I understood that this has to be done this way and technology is going to help in this way. And please, there is a need of a unlearning. Old ways has to be unlearned. Don't go that whatever we were doing earlier. And as rightly Joanna said by Mr. Assis, कि पहले थाना आया कि पहले क्रिमिनल आया, हम इस जो है ना कवायद में ही ना जाएं कि जहां पे जो है ना थाना है वहां पे क्रिमिनल रह रहे हैं. इस कवायद में क्यों जाएं? इस इंफॉर्मेशन को यूज करके हम समाधान बनाए ना. Why it is not going to help us कि how it has happened.
Correct, sir.
I mean, so my humble prayer would be that you should जो है basically use the strength of the technology. And the present strength of the technology is operating in the cyberspace. So now the earlier way of thinking that pilot project जो है ना in this small area, now pilot project may be for the small part of the problem. It is not the geographical area. Geographical area may be the whole country, right? Or even globe also. But
universe also.
If we say that the problem area of the traffic, problem area of the crime, problem area of the eve-teasing, problem area of this, so we can use the effectiveness in the order of the priority for something. But once we will go for it, if the backbones are already available, which fortunately they are available, say all जो है थानास they across the country they have already been geofenced, right? Now that information is available. Even it was not geofenced for the GRP, so we have done that geofencing. Some part is remaining. I think we will be completing in few days. So what I am saying, once your geofencing is complete, then rolling out as a model is not a area restriction. It can be done for a smaller functional area, not geographical area, right? Now what we can say कि भाई जो है ना बाकी दुनिया रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं करती है तो ये थाने वाला रिस्पॉन्ड कर दे, राइट? सो दैट इज अंडरस्टैंडेबल. बट द सिस्टम को जो है ना उस लिमिटेशन से उसके ऊपर लिमिटेशन नहीं है. दैट इज द लिमिटेशन ऑफ द थिंकर. हमारे दिमाग में एक भैया हम पहले चलो गोविंदपुरा एरिया में रिस्पॉन्स देख लेते हैं. अब जो चीज जो है ना गोविंदपुरा एरिया में काम कर रही है बिना किसी एफर्ट के, वो चीज जो है ना दूसरे थाने एरिया में भी काम करेगी, राइट? तो हम जो है किसी को डायरेक्शन दें कि भाई देखिए ये चीज आपके पास पहुंचेगी, आपको एक्शन लेना होगा, तो हमने एक पर्टिकुलर थाने के एरिया में दे कर दिया है. Just the moment we will issue the direction to the other functionaries, it will become effective from that day there also. Or automated system जो है probably do not require that kind of even direction from anybody, because then it can work from outside and will push the information through the CCTNS to the all players once it is having that access, because even that director NCRB has formally requested that proof of concept has to be submitted to the NCRB for this purpose. So he is ready to assemble it. I mean, and we are already working on that. Because of some technical glitches, we are still developing that proof of concept. I think within a month or so, we will be in position to do that. So what I am saying, here the technocrat has to think in a bigger way. यदि आपने जो है रथ यात्रा के बारे में किया, because आपने केवल रथ यात्रा के बारे में सोचा. यदि आप 5 चीजों के बारे में और सोचते तो वो चीजें भी हो जाती, right? So now in the light of my intervention, I will once again request Mr. Satyam to really now elaborate on technology part, and without really becoming the part of the restriction, you can say that this part is need to be developed, or this part is having some constraint, and those constraints may also be imaginary, because the work has already been done in other part of the country which we may not be aware of. So if we will go to the open source material also, lot of material would be available on open source. Mr. Satyam.
So sir, actually you and me both are on the same page. I have never talked about, that implement on a smaller area. But I'm always a big fan of implementing on a larger scale, but first tackling a first particular problem and then grow out of it. So anyway, those kind of discussion will be done separately. That is a different issue. But the main thing is that for our crime-free Bharat mission, as I said correctly, that the geoinformatics will be a backbone, because for every crime, your time, date, and location is the most important thing. And while having this kind of technology, you can do so much of wonderful analytics, which can give you the insight in terms of the relationship, in terms of the classification, in terms of the interpersonal behavior of the crimes and criminals and to its surrounding, which you will not get from the other technologies other than GIS, because it has a spatial component into it. So it will be really, and I'm remembering that I have seen some of the website, like Ashish sir has said, in British Columbia, in Canada, there are the public domain site which is available, which gives you the crime data of crime location of a different police station across British Columbia, like in Vancouver and across all the cities into that particular area. And people are actually getting those data and investing into the real estate or for buying a housing into that area. So for crime-free Bharat, this kind of GIS technology will be really very much helpful for this. So there is no doubt about it.
Now, I would like to say again, intervene here a little bit for the saying that the information beyond a particular point should not be available, which might create some kind of the fear. So the Chitragupt should know where is the crime. Chitragupt should know what to be done, how that crime to be even could be prevented before even actual happening of the crime. Why raw data should be shared with anybody? So our system is saying we will not be sharing raw data with the police, forget about the public. Because then basically you are trying that your raw data can be artificially used for differentiating the property, and so that the property, if located in relatively safer area, they can really get some premium on the top of it. So we can basically create this information for action rather than creating fear. And this information will be used for tasking public, because public can, we will be getting a proactive information from public. Hey, this is the target, this additional information is required. And even why that? हम एक छोटा सा ड्रोन क्यों नहीं उड़ा देंगे? to capture additional information, because that will be much more objective, much more reliable. So now the old way of thinking, old way of dependency has to be reduced. Now that very small drones are available, we can manufacture drones of our requirement, and then that can be used for capturing the information and not allowing other drone to look or hinder with the privacy. And our drone, whatever the data, it is going to the National Authority of the Scientific Technical Assistance with a big promise of guarantee of the privacy. Because when we will be using the technology, all the time we have to say the right to be private, right to the privacy has to be guaranteed, because we will not allow the technology to be used against the human being. Though this will be used for human-related welfare activity, for checking crime, for investigating crime, for prosecuting such person in a crime, and preventing crime and rehabilitating criminals. But the same information and technology will not be shared to the disadvantage of the person to whom it is belonged. So if it is your data, it will not be shared with the third party. It may be only be used for the court trial purposes. Other than court trial purposes, it will not be used. Even the technology Chitragupta, the Chitragupta, original mythological Chitragupta, he show your video to yourself. कि भाई साहब आपने ये काम किया, ये पाप किया, ये पुण्य किया, ये किया, वो किया, अब आपको स्वर्ग जाना है कि नरक जाना है, वो आपका वीडियो आपके पड़ोसी को नहीं दिखाता है. दिखाता है क्या? हेलो. So we have to be very cautious कि हमारा जो मॉडल है, though it will be creating revenue by capturing violation, but it will not be capturing revenue by sharing information. That information will be very sacrosanct, and in no probability it will be allowed to be misused. If even the chairman of that authority, if he dare to misuse that his authority, there will be cognizable offense. It will be non-bailable with a very difficult bail provision and with minimum 7 years of the punishment. That kind of the right to privacy we are talking. And for the sake of benefits, we will not allow our system to be misused by anybody for generating some pecuniary benefit for artificially escalating their property, supporting this data so that they can sell the property in a better way. If any advisory is to be issued to the citizen, it is the crime-free Bharat will be issuing that advisory if any advisory is required. So the majority of the revenue will be generated by allowing you to give the service, and secondly by allowing you to capture violation of the rule and proof of violation of that rule, and then that compounding fee, half of the compounding fees will come to you. Since these kind of the rules are broken for the commercial purpose, for the financial purpose, so we will be increasing the compounding fees, and the 50% of that will be a very great amount in time to come. So that's the way we will be creating revenue model, not by selling the information. That information will not be even given to the police. We are saying we will give the evidence to the police. We will give the investigation lead to the police. We will give the tool for the compliance and capturing of the investigation lead. But the raw data will not be even given to the police. So forget about the general public. Even police will not be having the raw data. And that's why the crime-free Bharat platform is not under the police. It is the supra system beyond the police, and it is even to some extent it will have the some kind of the sacrosanct like election commission. It will enjoy that kind of the sacrosanct with the sake of the government, and the system should be always try to guarantee the right to privacy. So I am saying that the basic principle of the crime-free Bharat always has to be kept in mind while designing technology. And anything which is inconsistent with our vision, we will politely refuse it to incorporate with our system. because there could be 110 ways of reaching or solving a problem. But we will refuse to agree to any solution which is not consistent with these certainty which we want to ground to the public, including right to the privacy. So forget about selling of any information. Not even remotely we will be allowing that information. Even inferences will be very cautiously shared, inferences, not information, so that it should not be in position to generate fear, psychosis. It should not be in position to generate some advantage, and it should not be misused by any section for their personal benefit. But certain things could be there, and say including the same system will allow you to get a higher respect. हम अकेला क्राइम डिटेक्शन की बात क्यों करें? यदि मिस्टर साय जाते हैं और एक QR रीडर बताता है कि साहब ही इज मिस्टर साय, and the system comes to know that Mr. Sai is paying these many lakhs to the income tax, and a policeman salutes you, Mr. Sai, I respect you, you are paying so much of the money as income tax, and you are greatly contributing for the progress of the country. Why that kind of the positive respect should not come to you as a responsible citizen? Income tax of lately has started issuing those kind of the certificate that you are a very good income tax payer. I have received many. So I am saying that is income tax is doing. Why that kind of the respect cannot flow to you when you are on street? And let's use the geo-information technology to make it happen. But in our revenue model, हम जो है पब्लिक का रॉ डाटा नहीं बेचेंगे, नहीं तो हम में और गूगल में, फेसबुक में क्या फर्क रह जाएगा? We are not here for any commercial interest. हमारा एक ही इंटरेस्ट है पब्लिक का भला. हमारा एक ही इंटरेस्ट है टू क्रिएट और चेंज द फेस एंड फेट ऑफ दिस कंट्री. आई होप मिस्टर सत्यम जो इशारा मैं करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं, दैट यू आर, I hope you agree with that.
Yeah, see, obviously it is all
it is with this case we will not be selling. I hope you agree with that that we will not be selling any information in violation of right to privacy.
Of course, we should not do that, and I don't think so any of the tech company, even like Google or Facebook, are doing that. Okay, because raw data is always raw data.
अरे सब कंपनी यही काम कर रही हैं. They are selling the data to the जो है ना deep जो है websites, dark websites. They are selling the data, your data, right, left, and center. They are using drawing inferences and being used and being sold to that lot, and your data is available on lot many dark websites. I hope you must be knowing that.
Sir, probably those data are coming like you have said कि जो फॉर्म आते हैं कि बस आपको ये लॉटरी लगी है, इसमें ये information भेजो. So those information are going. Otherwise, if you see of Google, Facebook, or all other technology companies, their encryption are so good they cannot basically.
You are very right. Some data is captured. Some data is captured by through the hacking. Some data is captured by remotely controlling your system. Some data is by phishing activity, and this data either directly used for the crime, committing crime, or it is being sold on the dark nets, on the dark portals for to be used for the criminal activity or for nefarious activity. So our job would be to capture that those kind of the attempt and punish those people, rather than becoming anyway जो है ना creating a system which anyway could जो है go that way.
And data with a location is so sensitive that many of the countries have started. There is something called National Spatial Data Infrastructure. So whatever the data is created with the location component, that data has to be registered with the NSDI, and they are the custodian of the particular data. In India also there is a NSDI, but under National Map Policy.
I am saying that whatever be the authority, this rule that the data privacy is applicable if they will use my content anywhere negatively, they must land in jail. They may be the
100%
of that authority.
100%. And nowadays
that kind of the guarantee we have to grant to our.
Correct. And that is very much required. Those kind of guarantee infrastructure and encryption is lot of required, because nowadays data is a new oil. somebody can steal your entire identity and they can basically do many of the things. So that is most important thing. 100% agree with
करना
you.
चाहिए वो चीजें सब जो है वो सब चीजें हमारा चित्रगुप्त करेगा.
इसीलिए तो सर क्राइम फ्री भारत की जरूरत है ना सर, बाकी वो होता था तो क्या जरूरत थी. करेक्ट सर. इसीलिए तो सर क्राइम फ्री भारत की जरूरत है, बाकी सब ये होता था तो हम लोग 1.5 घंटे से बाद भी क्या कर सकते थे.
Very true, very true, very true. Now I will request Mr. Ashish to really give a final जो है ना statement, his vision, his prayer to the public, prayer to the NRIs, prayer to the other technocrats to join Crime Free Bharat. Let a message should come from your side, and let's make a very conscious attempt. Whosoever is capable, we must join hand to make it happen. Because as a person who visualized the whole thing, I always say it is not my vision. Let me confess one thing: it is not my vision. It is some cosmic download. So it is a somewhere cosmic desire. And I very strongly believe that if it is the cosmic desire, that cosmos would be in position to influence the mind and thinking of n number and crores of the people. And sooner or later, they will be joining us. Now, can we fasten that process? Can we expedite the process so that more people should join? And whatever we are visualizing, at least something should happen within the period of 3 months and 6 months, and not later than a year. Then we will keep on revising these versions as per our experience, because there will be advancement in the technology. So we will not be creating a static system, we will be creating dynamic system. So in that light, I would like to listen Dr. Ashish. Okay, please come out with your framework, with your thinking, with your appeal. How as one of the important pillar who is taking care of the technology part of it, how you would like that Crime Free Bharat should be should play its role, how other technocrats, other wizards, other students, other academicians, they must join hand to make it happen, and they must make it happen without becoming basically partner of some evil activities. Many people will be interested in you if you share that information with them, and they will be too happy to do that. So they should come out with a bias reason. They should not be there with their own personal agenda. So there should be only one agenda, that is the Crime Free Bharat, no other agenda.
Agreed, sir. So, as a citizen of India, I look at Crime Free Bharat, right, as not just a vision. I look at it as a movement which includes people who are not just elite, but even the simplest of citizens of India, right, who can say, for example, the student communities from various engineering colleges, right, who have started participating in Crime Free Bharat. When I see kids aged 18, 19, 20 participating in Crime Free Bharat, there has to be a reason. Those children otherwise have got many other things to do, like playing in the garden or playing some video games. Why would they join Crime Free Bharat? And with the number of students that I have seen participating and enthusiastically participating, I believe that the movement has taken shape. It is not just about senior people who have, who are either retired or, who have basically a sense of social justice which comes from all their past experience. It's not just them. Even the children have started participating. This, sir, which is very clear that the movement is taking shape. We have now got members from various different countries, from Canada, Australia. I believe somebody from New Zealand is also there. So when we have such kind of participation from various other countries, that is, they may not be Indian citizens today, but they are person of Indian origin. So these people are participating because they see that when they see how their country is progressing, they look at it in terms of how they need to help that country. and their own country in the. So when all these people get together and we have more and more participation, what we are going to have is a assurance that the government will notice Crime Free Bharat as a movement. And this, I believe, over the next few months, right, is very much liable to happen. And as the champion of Crime Free Bharat, sir, I believe that the time has come, right, for you to take the next step, right, in meeting our Home Minister at the state, right, and taking things forward. Uh, our Home Minister Shri Amit Shah, right, is a person who has very superior capabilities, specifically in in management of crime. I have seen him as secretary of, as the minister of home in while at state also, and his capabilities then also are very much visible even today. What he has left behind and what he is doing at the central level is always visible. Uh, so I believe approaching him and seeking his support, right, is I believe the next step that needs to be taken. I believe we already have around with the multiple groups that we have, we must be having approximately some 1,500 or 2,000 people onboarded already. And going from the 2,000 to 20,000 will not take much time. It's simply a question of, coming out with a few achievable targets and ensuring government support. So, having said that, I welcome all citizens across India to participate in Crime Free Bharat. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Dr. Satyam, a last comment from your side, being a new member in Crime Free Bharat. And please don't take my interjection negatively, because they are no way to really contradict you, but to align you with the larger thinking of Crime Free Bharat. I will be failing in my duty if I will not be giving that guiding principle, because you are not aware of it. So generally you will go what is happening in the globe, but we will be always worried about our own consistency with the vision, because once we will deviate from that consistency, we will be nowhere. And believe me, we can do it with the one institute alone. That much elaboration is not required, but we have gone for the 54 universities and they are working with us. The purpose was how we can really infuse the creativity, how we can really infuse innovations, how we can really put that energy in our academic and students, so that they can design larger solution. They can become entrepreneur. I think under the CFB umbrella, there will be thousands of the startup. Basically, at the moment, the Crime Free Bharat mission is having one society. Very soon, we will be going for a trust. Very soon, we will be a company also, because we will be supporting our student to come out with the n number of startup, and those startup would be supported from end to end. They will be supported for creating the project report. They will be supported for the finance. They will be supported for input material. They will be supported for the marketing also. So everybody has to really work for their core area of competence. At present, our startup, they are not successful many times because they have to do everything for themselves. And then the weakest link of that chain will define their capacity. And sometimes they fail not on account of the core concept. They fail on account of that they could not arrange the finance, they could not arrange the raw material, they could not arrange that marketing, and the marketing distortion sometimes not favoring them. So the Crime Free Bharat is going to really cater for the 16 Bharat. I will request Mr. Satyam. There's a outline vision document to go through that. It gives the list of the all Bharat which we are talking. And now I will request you to kindly, as a new member, after the discussion of 1.5 hours and with our earlier discussion, and you must have heard or you must have seen few videos also, and I presume that you must have gone through that outline document also. So now I would like to listen your appeal to the public, your appeal to the technocrat.
I'm very excited to join the Crime Free Bharat as a volunteer. And I urge people that as a technocrat, as a citizen, this is our moral responsibility to be associate for with this kind of organization and trying to make a change into their society, because this is not for as today I have briefly talked with the sir. It is not about that you are working with the police or you are working for a government. It is all about you are working for yourself and you are basically going to do something for your future generation. So I'm very excited to be a part of this, and best of luck. And all about that, I'm always seeking your guidance for correcting me to not to deviate from the crime free Bharat policy. And we all have, the right to agree to disagreement. It is all like a one God. There are various route to, reach to a one God. So God is crime free Bharat, and there are various way to reach there. So I think it will be a really a fun and excited journey to be a part of that. Thank you.
I am 100% in agreement with you. Even God has created for marks many routes. So Bhakti Marg, Jnana Marg, this Marg, that Marg. So there are almost 4 routes. So there will be many routes, and that's why we have to really worry about certain guarantee which we are giving to the police, which we are giving to the normal public. We have to be really all the time bothered about it, and for that we want to create a very robust legal framework also.
Correct.
Lot many people, Mr. Suresh Sati is also saying that data is sold to the many marketing company. Like if we purchase an asthma medicine, the purifier company will call you from the data. So basically, this data should not basically made available to anybody. Rather, our information system will try to help out people so that they can make a more informed decision, and if anything they are looking for, we will try to become the pipeline to that without really exposing their raw data. So basically we will become almost helping every citizen, number one, for the reporting of crime, number two, even sharing their feedbacks, assessing systems. They will be given the crime related task. Then the system will be catering for their general need. So whether you want to travel or you want to eat or you want whatever your requirement, something will come from Crime Free Bharat to help you out. Then it is going for your niche need also. So your professional need would be also catered by the Crime Free Bharat. Then the next, it is going to cater for your इंफॉर्मेशन नीड. तो वो आपको गूगल जैसी इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं परोसेगा. उसके जो बैकएंड इंजन है उसको वेरीफाई करके what is good for you, what is verified you, that will go without any commercial interest in that. That information would be having very high commercial value, but the Crime Free Bharat will not allow any misuse for commercial value, but it should go to the public for their benefit. That kind of it will be having the 5 services to the public. So not only the crime, it is basically a holistic support system which will be catering for basically it will be changing the face and fate of this country. So I am very grateful to Mr. Ashish Sahaji. I am very grateful to Mr. Satyam Daveji. And I throw both of you, I would like to invite n number of the entrepreneurs and number of the private players and number of the technocrats, whether they are in India or they are abroad, to join this movement. They should become a technology partner to make it happen. And a small model we should be in position to roll out within 6 months. I am too happy to inform that Crime Free Bharat is, I think within a week, would be coming out with your own video conferencing system, which could be telecasted on any platform. That is already in offering. We are coming out with the Crime Free Bharat chatbot. I think that should happen in a week time. I think within a month or even before, we would be having our website which is in pipeline to be launched, and it will be having a legal support system to help public. we very strongly feel that our person will not be going and meeting any functionary. There will be restriction on face-to-face interaction with the authority. So our stationery will be moving, and people can't afford to ignore anything written on that stationery, because it will be having the power of the system and it knows all gates, so that when the system will be working for helping public, it will not be possible for the authority to ignore the direction, information, guidance given to the various authority. If they will do that, they will do it on their own peril. So once again, I convey my sincere thanks to both of you. I from the core of my heart, I would like to thank you for sparing your valuable time. Once again, from the core of my heart, I would like to convey my thanks for joining and helping us in designing technical solution and helping us to spread the message. I will request you that people, those who are connected with the various technical platforms, please make out a list of them and add in your group, and we will try to co-opt them in our crime-free Bharat mission, and we will give them the formal position also, whether they are in India and or they are outside also. Let's put together our energy and let's talk of the energy. हम जो बात कर रहे हैं ये energy है, that is not going to dissipate. It will remain in this cosmos even after our death. Now there's already technology has come which can whatever being said before, that could be captured. Those tools have been they have been designed, and it is now doable. So whatever we are thinking, whatever we are doing, whatever we are saying, we are creating a kind of energy. Let's create that energy so that all like-minded people should join and should make it happen. Let's join hand to change the face and fate of our nation. Let's join hand to make our country healthy, wealthy. Let the per capita income should grow minimum 3 times, and GDP should grow multiple times. Crime-free Bharat is having a vision about the happiness currency. After 5 years or so, we will be unfolding happiness currency, which can only earn by giving happiness to other. Just for the introducing, it will be a kind of a cryptocurrency which will be capturing your behavior. So it will be then will be creating a happiness. The true happiness will be emerging from that. So today I have discussed a next facet of crime-free Bharat by having something called a happiness currency. With this, I think I would like to conclude this session with a great thanks to both of you. With the thanks to the
Thank you,
many
sir.
of our people, they are viewing us. Many of them, they have registered their presence. They said, yes, I am here. So we take cognizance of their presence, including of Mr. Mahendra Modi, who is a president of Uttar Pradesh and president of Jharkhand also. And we took cognizance of his presence. And everybody is really putting a lot of energy. I expect that in future, our group member, they must present during this discussion, so that their own clarity about the vision crime-free Bharat should become more clear as we move on. We plan to have 3 facets. Number 1 is the technological solution involving a spectrum of technology. Second is legal support and legal solution, which includes the creation of legislations, creation of the notification, whereby the revenue stream would be doable. And third will be creating a public opinion, so that the decision maker may be persuaded that they should take a favorable decision for making crime-free Bharat basically a ground reality. I take a suggestion from Mr. Sahay about meeting Honorable Home Minister. I am of the very strong view that our journey will become very easy if we get the blessing from Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Home Minister, because a lot of things has to be done by the system from inside. That will be more doable if we really do that way. With this, so lot many things people are saying. Okay, so I think nothing important. So I convey my sincere thanks to everybody for
Thank you, sir.
Really sparing valuable time, not by the with me, but the other people, those who are viewing it. So I convey my sincere thanks to them. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Jai Bharat. Jai Hind.